Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome. Today we are going to be doing a live hot take of the new Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering uh, release, sneak peek, first look, whatever they threw at us a day or two ago. Uh, First impressions, I'm disappointed. First of all, I didn't know that they were doing the pre-order, right? Because all of the headlines, all of the ads were just said, "Here's the first look revealed." It didn't actually say they're doing a pre-order. So I missed the pre-order. Everything sold out. Really upset about that. And the fact that they're doing a limited run and they're not going to print more crap, and then things coming out aftermarket are going to be super expensive. It's just, it's not great for the consumer base, but sure, it makes them more money, whatever. Anyway, enough ranting. Let's move on. Yes, it is sad. I know. We'll have to deal with it. Don't worry. So we got our little Final Fantasy daily stuff going on right here. Neat stuff. Tonberry. Makes sense. I'm cool with it. I think it would be better if it just had First Strike and Death Touch all the time, because Tonberries are, scary. But during your turn, yeah, alright, whatever. Cool. Little symbols on the cards. Neat, neat, neat. The box really, I'm not going to really go into these too much. I think they're going to be, they cost too much. These are $70, $80. It's ridiculous. Moving on. Okay. So first idea they came up with is the new summon for the monsters that are saga creatures. Now, I guess that's an interesting idea, right? The sagas are going to be out for 3 turns. You get 2 turns that you can attack with it, and it has an effect each time. It's like, all right, that's kind of neat. My idea was to tie it into the materias as an artifact, and then you summon the creature, so you get 2 benefits for the price of 1. But this is not a terrible idea. I'm not entirely against that, but I still think my idea was better. I don't know who this guy is, so we're not going to worry about it. I'm guessing he's a Final Fantasy 14 villain. I don't know much about 14. Garland. It's neat. They did the transform side, which I think I talked about making him more of a planeswalker than a transformer. But, sure, if it works, yeah. I think I also went with 3 colors on this one. Black, red, and blue. A couple months ago, I made a video on hopes and expectations of what we would get in this release, and I even made a couple ideas and what I think that they should have been. But I digress. Same here with Sin. I think Sin should have been a colorless creature, not a black, green, blue. Mostly because it's supposed to be like devoid of anything. It is a creature brought on by the dreams of nonsense. I am fine with it being flying. That makes sense, and the ability's not bad. Whenever it attacks, exile a permanent from a graveyard at random, then create a tap token. That's it. If it's a land, repeat. Yeah, it's fine as an ability, so I'm not against that. But it should have been colorless. Not everything has to be colors. But it looks like they did take my idea, or I came up with the same idea that they came up with, however you want to look at it. With Cecil being both a Dark Knight and a Paladin on the same card with a flip. I talked about this. They switched out some of the stuff by giving him things. I just said make him a 2/4 Death Touch Menace and a 4/2 Lifelink First Strike. For Cecil being the lifelink, the Paladin being the lifelink, and the Dark Knight being the Death Touch. But I kept it simple. They added the ability in there where if he deals damage, you lose life, and then if it's less life, you transform it. And I just said, you sacrifice a creature or you pay life to transform it into the Paladin. But at least I'm on par with the right type of mindset that they were going. I'm going to go with the idea that they stole it. They stole my idea. That was my idea to have him be a transformer. Moogles. Okay, Moogles. What do we got, Moogles? Stillskin Moogle Merchant. Lifelink. Target opponent gains control of another target permanent you control. If they do, you draw a card. The lifelink's fine. Giving them stuff that you control is interesting. Because I know there's one or two cards that are built around decks specifically for giving stuff away to people. So that could work with that. The Jumbo Cactor, however, that's something. Already I've seen a couple combos that people have thrown out there involving this guy to just completely obliterate everybody. So that will be fun to see. Definitely save your counter spells for that. This one's a little disappointing. These are just reskins, right? Ancient Copper Dragon and Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. Yuffie doesn't get her own card, which is unfortunate because she's a great character in the game. A lot of people like her. So you think that she'd get her own special ninja stuff, right? But no, they just made her another card. That's disappointing. I'm worried about how many of those we're going to see in other aspects for other Final Fantasies of characters that people really like, and they're just reskins of current MTG cards. So that's unfortunate. Not a fan of that. And then they're doing secret layers, and then that's it for that one. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm not particularly jazzed about some of the stuff, and they took my ideas for other things, so. Now let's take a look at our commander stuff here. So first, let's take a look at Cloud. First of all, they got the colors wrong. He should not be, I believe it's Naya, red, green, and white. He should be white and black because of the dual nature of the darkness and the light within himself. Same with Sephiroth. They should both be white-black. But for whatever reason, they went this route. I don't get it. And he shouldn't have haste. I mean, he can be fast, but that's not his spiel. I'm not particularly pleased with it being an equipment-based deck. Now, let me just do a quick overrun of what we got going on here for all these things. So we got Terra here, which is from Final Fantasy VI. Now, they might be doing it similar to what they did with the Doctor Who sets, where they have, the older Doctor Who's, a couple of the newer ones, and then the bad guys, and they split it up into the 4 decks. So it might be that Terra from 6, her commander deck has Final Fantasies 1 to 6. Cloud will have Final Fantasies 7 to 9. Tidus will have Final Fantasies 10 to 13, and then Y'shtola will have Final Fantasies 14, 15, and 16. That seems like that would be what we're going for. If it's solo just that Final Fantasy 7, 6, 10, and 14, that's a bit strange because they said they're including all 16 games. But so that's kind of what's going on here. And this was a complete flavor fail, a complete theme fail for the characters and what they're capable of. At least 3 of the 4 of them. I don't know anything about Y'shtola, so I don't know if this is fitting her scale setting or not. But we'll start with Cloud here again. So he's an equipment deck. When he enters, attach an equipment. When he attacks, you draw a card for each equipped attacking creature you control. Then if he has power 7 or greater, create 2 treasure tokens. I mean, no. But he's not, and they're making, and if I am right about them attaching 7, 8, and 9 into this one commander deck, those are not commander equipment-based decks, right? Like, we're sitting here looking at it like, I don't see any of the characters in there being heavily equipment-based or functional in that. So the theme around that doesn't really even make sense. I mean, let's take a look at this, okay, for an example of Cloud. What is Cloud? Cloud is a mercenary, right? Right there, mercenary, bam. Okay, so what can we do for a mercenary effect? Well, let's give him trample because he's got a huge sword. He should be black and white. And then his ability should be during an opponent's turn, they can pay 3 life and gain control of Cloud until end of turn. It is goaded. So they are paying Cloud to do a job for them. They can't attack you because you own them, but and then if they do, you create a treasure token. You gain money. Or you could even make it a gold token. But like that's so much more on theme for what Cloud does based on he's a mercenary. And they have him saying that in the games all the time. It's like, well, if it's for the right price, or I should ask for more money. Like that's all about. So like give him trample, make him a 4/4 is fine. Give him one or two colorless mana and then a black and a white. So a 3 or 4 mana for 4/4 trample that they can buy him for a turn. Like come on. And maybe ward 1 or something. I don't know. Because he is a hardy boy. He can take some hits. So I don't know, man. Like, they got the colors wrong. They got the ability wrong. And again, granted, this is just my opinion, but I'm going more based off of what I think the themes, the aesthetic, the flavor of what the cards should be based upon what they are like in the games. And this is a fail. This is a fail in my opinion. It makes me sad. And the fact that it's now going to be, because you build the commander decks based around the commander, right? So if he's an equipment stuff, you're going to have all these other equipment-based things in that. And that's not bad, but I mean, just a couple months ago, right? Not very long, we had the Marvel release with Captain America, right? And Captain America was an equipment deck, and he was a great equipment commander. And here we are getting another one, and he's not an equipment guy. He just has one big sword. That's it. When I think of equipment, I think of the whole, kit and caboodle, right? They got the boots, they got the armor, they got the helmet, they got the weapons, like all of it, right? He's just one giant sword. If it was Guts from Berserk, then I can see that as equipment because he's got a whole bunch of crap going on. But anyway, I'm particularly upset about that one because Final Fantasy VII is my favorite. If you couldn't tell. Yeah, okay. Terra. Also, again, Terra's the wrong colors. I picked her out to be different. And her ability, let's see what we got going on here. At the beginning of combat, you mill cards, and then she gains flying. Okay, there's a lot of mill decks out there, so that works with stuff. That's not necessarily bad. And then whenever she deals damage, you pay mana, and then you can reanimate something, bring something back from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped with power 3 or less. She's not a cleric, right? She's not a white mage, right? She's a caster. She blows stuff up, especially when she transforms into her Esper. Another flavor fail, right? So let's take a look at this for a second. With Captain America, right? Red, white, and blue. America, great. We have Jeskai colors, which is just in a different order. But for him, they changed the order. And here we have Terra, who is an Esper. It is a thing. And we have a color combination called Esper. Like, how do you miss that? Like, I don't... that is like such on point. It almost has me thinking and believing that these people know nothing about the games. They know nothing about the games. They know nothing about the characters. And they're just like, we're going to do this because this is what we think it should be rather than what it actually is. It is a huge flavor and theme fail. Like, I don't know, because I had her as the same as Cecil from Final Fantasy IV, is that she should transform. She should be a dual-sided card where you do some effect, she transforms into her Esper form, and she has more powerful abilities. Now, for her, what would make more sense is, yeah, let's go Esper. Let's go white, black, and white, black, and blue for Esper, right? And give her the choice of an ability, flying, or lifelink, or death touch. Either of those signs if they fit with the color. Or menace instead of death touch. I think that makes more sense because she could be scary when she just blow crap up, right? And then you give her because she's a caster, give her dual cast, right? Dual cast. That is a Final Fantasy thing. She is a caster. She's a black mage, glass cannon type thing. Give her dual cast, which is when you cast a spell, copy it and do it once per turn. Bam. Like, that's simple. It fits. It's on theme. It's on point. It's on flavor. It's so easy. I'm hoping that in her deck, if we're right about the numbers, Final Fantasies 1 through 6, that they'll have just the generic black mage. And hopefully that black mage will have dual cast, right? I don't know. We'll see. They should have the monocolored black, white, green, blue, red mages. I don't know. It's just disappointing. Tidus. All right, Tidus. Not a terrible color combination. The white, blue, green, not bad. I would almost say probably just blue or even blue, green, or blue, white. That feels a little bit more in his wheelhouse. All three is a stretch, but I think it works. Although his ability doesn't make sense. Right? He's a counter guy. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may move a counter from target creature you control onto a second target creature you control. Okay. And then one or more creatures you control with counters on them deal combat damage, draw a card, and proliferate. Do it once. Like, when he's not a buffer, right? He doesn't move buffs from one party member to another, and he doesn't make them stronger with the right. That's the idea of proliferate. You increase the counters and you move them around and you buff. He's not that. He's a fighter. He's a striker, right? So this does not fit his character. They almost got the colors right, but this doesn't fit his character. He should be another simple creature, right? Like, give him haste because he is fast, and give him island walk because he's a swimmer. He's an underwater breathing, swimming athlete. So a haste island walk 3/3 for 3, that's perfect. That's awesome. That would be a fantastic card right there. Simple, clean, fits on character, fits in point, and it's just it's frustrating, you know? Like it's like they wanted to come up with ideas to mechanics that they already have and build around that, you know, equipment or milling or counters. And it's like you can come up with newer, simpler mechanics and function around that. I don't know, right? Like what would be? So Blitzball, he's an athlete. Whenever you deal combat damage to a player, you gain a point. And you can trade in those points to draw cards. Cool. And then you can build, you know, well, I want to say if they are including Final Fantasy 11, 12, and 13 in there, the point thing would only really work for 10 because that's got Blitzball. So that wouldn't necessarily work, but it's something more on point for his character. Ugh. Or you could take a look at the overall theme of the main characters from each and kind of tie those together and then build them all intertwined with that. But like, it doesn't. It is its own thing, and it's not. It's so frustrating. It really is. Because I liked Final Fantasy X and 6 and 7. I loved these games. I grew up playing these games and they were great. And then they actually be like, no, we're gonna make these things based on nothing. I don't know. And then here's Y'shtola. I don't know anything about her, so this may be perfectly fine. I don't know. You Final Fantasy 14 players out there, you let me know. But she is Esper colors, so maybe that needs to change. And they're all 3 colors. That is a problem. You need to mix it up. You need to have 1, you need to have 2, you need to have 3, you need to have 4. Maybe a 4 color. Make her a 4 color. Right? Because we don't have a lot of 4 colors. That would have been great. And drop down Cloud and Tidus to 2 color. You can keep Terra as a 3 color, but change your colors. Like, they need some variety and things that actually fit and make sense for this. So, Vigilance 2/4. At the beginning of each end step, if a player lost 4 or more life this turn, you draw a card. Okay, so you hurt people, you draw cards. And then whenever you cast a non-creature spell with mana value 3 or greater, she deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. Okay, so she's got a lot of stuff going on here. You could hit people, cast a non-creature spell, deal 2 damage, get that 4 for her draw card, gain life, all in this. Like, she's working. She's got a lot of stuff going on, and that's not a bad card at all. Like, the abilities there, they work together. That's fine. That's great. I don't know if it's on theme. I don't know if the flavor fits her character and the stuff that she can do. So because I don't have any knowledge of Final Fantasy XIV and her character, I'm going to say that this is a fine card. It's great. We'll see what the rest of the decks for all of these things look like, and how they. And here's the thing: this could be a really good deck. It could be a great deck, right? And that's fine and all. A lot of the Commander precons that have been coming out the last year or so have been really good, except for, one or two, but like they're solid. And so I have no doubt that these are going to be some good decks, but they miss the whole spirit, and they miss the soul of the game and the characters, right? By not tying into the appropriate colors and abilities of the cards that we see here. Now, these are just the Commander decks, granted, so we don't know all of the information, right, that's coming out of it. And the basic set stuff, these things, right? Now you've got the starter kit, which has Cloud and Sephiroth. Again, Boros colors and Dimir colors, from what I think. And those are wrong. The colors are wrong. And the abilities are also saying, like, as long as he's equipped, he's indestructible. And he does, I can't even read it. I read it once and I was just like, nah. Right? But then now you got the set here, the bundle or the gift bundle or the boosters. And we're going to see all of the other cards, right? We're definitely going to see Warrior of Light. He's sitting right there. But what's he going to be? Is he going to be a mono white? I don't know. He's probably going to be a mono red character from the way that things are going, is that they have no concept. I'm really hoping that they fix this in the other cards. Maybe just the one card on the top here is the Commander's a flavor fill, and the rest of the stuff is great. I don't know. I'm hoping. We'll see. Maybe one day we'll find out, and we'll all be able to celebrate and be like, hey, this is great. Come June, when we get to know what everything can do. And then all of the other, I want to see Final Fantasy 8 and 9 and 4, and I want the characters to be good. I want them to fit their theme. They don't have to be complicated. They don't have to have all these crazy mechanics. Just make them simple, right? Like Squall from Final Fantasy 8, he has a gun blade. Give him reach. Like, have him pay mana or life or something, and he can deal 2 points of damage to any target because that's a gun. He shoots stuff. Like, I don't know. It's not hard. I'm sitting here and I put almost no thought into this stuff, and I was already able to come up with something that's much better of an idea that fits to the theme of the character. And not even talking about like my video a couple months ago where I made some guesses about what some of their abilities were. I wasn't even trying. I didn't even put in a bunch of effort. And if I did, I could come up with fantastic mechanics that work well with what the actual characters are and their theme and everything. So, I don't know. This is just my first take. I'm disappointed, honestly, with the majority of it. Some of the stuff seems like it'd be neat. The rest of it, I'm like, they just dropped the ball on theme and flavor. Like, this is just disappointing. There's the spirit of bringing over the characters for what they actually represent. I was hoping that they would nail it, but because I thought they did fine with the Marvel Secret Lair. Those characters fit what they did. It was very on point. But these ones aren't, and it shows. I mean, the art's cool. I'm happy to see some neat art. These ones in the middle here, fantastic. And these ones are still good too. Like, I'm not saying that they're bad or anything, but like, I'm sad. Oh, anyway, thanks for tuning in to hear me rant. I don't know. We'll see as things come out with more information on what they got going on. But like, I don't know. I don't know. This is a disappointment. But again, we'll see how things, turn out with the more time and the more releases and how we see things go. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you later. Peace.